Start a blog, call into a talk show, go to a city council, say no. I mean, I'm not saying climb up a pole at night and beat a camera up with a baseball bat. I'm not saying go up on a corporate billboard and spray paint Infowars.com or DavidIcke.com. I'm not saying go that far like the founding fathers would have, David.
Yeah, the thing is, we've got to reach a point now where one person's injustice and one person's imposition by the state is ours. So when one person is treated unjustly by the state for doing something, then vast numbers of people immediately do it. A simple thing like you put your wheelie bin out on the wrong day, the council gives you a fine for £75. The next thing you know, the council is dealing with thousands of people putting their wheelie bin out on the wrong day indefinitely until the law's changed, or refusing to pay taxes to the council until the law's changed.
Well,
we've got to start doing this. Otherwise, we're just going to complain and moan and basically watch the prison being built, and more knowing it's being built and understanding how it's built, but actually still not intervening in the process of it being built.
Well, David, here's a quick example. I remember like 8 years ago, it was in Louisiana, big 5A school. People can look it up. It was in WorldNet Daily and the Associated Press and other places because I had some of the kids on. It was a high school, young men and women. And they just said, you've all got to wear ID badges around your neck. And first they showed how you could read the barcode and learn just viewing it what somebody's social security number was. So that showed that it was unsecured. And one girl said no. They expelled her. And then about 20 said no. They expelled them. And then like half the school said no. And they expelled all of them. And then they had to back off and remove it. And that's an example right there of saying no, no, no.
That's what we need to do. You see, we had a wonderful example in this country a few years ago, which I was actually involved in when I was in the Green Party.
National ID card.
Yeah, say again?
It was the National ID card, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was a Margaret Thatcher tax called the poll tax, which taxed people of high income the same as people of low income. It was a local poll tax. And this is the important thing, Alex, because it didn't just hit the if you like, the working classes, as we call them here, it hit the middle classes as well. The fault line was removed because there was a mutual effect on both groups. As a result, there was a vast movement in this country, which I was involved in myself, in not paying that tax, refusing to pay the tax. Some people went to jail because of it. But what actually happened was so many people didn't pay it, the tax had to be withdrawn, and was a fundamental reason why Margaret Thatcher lost her power. So these are the things that we can do. The point is, oh my God, there are billions of us, and at the core, who know the big picture of what they're doing, there is a relative handful of the people doing it. I think I see a way out of this. But we have to unite, and we have to take a deep breath, and we have to stop being frightened of authority and realize that in the end, it's frightened of us.
Well, they're scared to death of us. I mean, look at how the system is trying to chill demonstrations, protests, trying to intimidate people. And now everybody can see that we're being looted, that the Treasury is being robbed, that trillions in debts being piled on all our names, and it's an illegitimate, fraudulent debt, and there's no discussion in the corporate media of any of these criminals even being investigated or going to jail. Here we go, full audience.
Okay.
David Icke, quite a rebel, certainly an icon when you talk about the awakening movement, the waking life that we're all living here. We're always honored to have him on with us. As things quicken, as things accelerate and get worse a lot faster, I want to have David on more and more, and we respect his time, but it's just great to have him here with us because what he does is very important. He's been right about everything he's talked about coming true, and he gets people to really get outside the box in his own own way, very well spoken and comes at things from a great angle. So we love having David Icke with us, and he's coming to the United States in late September and early October. Check out more at davidicke.com. He'll be in California 3 dates only, twice in Santa Clara on the 27th and 28th, and once in Los Angeles. Again, details at davidicke.com. David, of course, there's always sell out, folks. You better get tickets now. Don't wait till the last day and then whine and scream about it. That's part of the good thing. David can sell out 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 person ballrooms now. And going back decades ago, maybe 5 people would show up. But that's because, and really isn't that the power we have, is that we saw it. Nothing special about us. We just saw behind the curtain a little bit earlier than other people, and have gone deeper down that rabbit hole. You know, probably deeper than me in some respects. And then so much of what we said came true exactly as we said it would, and so people are really paying attention now, David.
Yes, they are, and you know. But I just want to keep emphasizing, you know, with the major audience that we're back talking to now, that we really got to start moving from just understanding more about the game and the situation we face to doing something about it. There are billions of people being manipulated along this road. There are a relative handful of people at the core in full knowledge of what they're doing who are actually doing the manipulating. We do not have to go down this road if we wake up, first of all, to what's happening and then start to react to it. I remember, Alex, it was a movie, an animated movie some years ago called A Bug's Life. For people who don't remember it, it was about a small group of grasshoppers who controlled through fear a massive group of ants on a place called Ant Island. And they got these ants all the year to gather food to give to the grasshoppers when they come once a year to fetch it. And there's one scene that was so encapsulating of what we're talking about here. The grasshoppers were in like their winter quarters in some tree or other, and they had all the food they needed. And the leader came along and said, "We've got to go now to Ant Island." And one of the smaller guys said, "Well, what do we have to go to Ant Island for? You know, we got all the food we need. We don't need that food. What do we need it for?" And then he stood up and he made a speech about the facts of life. If you are the few and you need to control the many. And what had happened in a previous scene is one ant, the last time they went to Ant Island to get the food, had stood up and challenged what they were doing and questioned what they were doing. And he said, basically, it's not about the food. It's about keeping them under control. And this was the line I remember. There's a few of us, basically, and there are enormous numbers of them. We need them more than they need us, and if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. What we need to do now, Alex, now we're gathering this understanding of what's happening, is to figure that out. We do not have to be controlled by the few when we are the vast majority. What happens is we're divided and ruled. We fight among each other on religion and politics and income bracket and culture and country and all these things. And
the enemy facilitates that, even in our own truth movements, patriot movements. They send in the people to create dissent, who then stand back and go, I've not done anything. I'm being persecuted. So they get those fights going. So I think it's important to ignore those fights and move forward with issues. In fact, we played that clip many times here on air years ago. John, see if it's still on the computer. It's where he says, "Hey, boss, what do you care about one ant?" He goes, "Listen, They outnumber us 100 to 1, and if they ever figure that out, it's over for us."
Yeah, and that's what we need to figure out now. Because at the moment, what's happening, you've got this pyramid, you've got the few at the top who are doing it, you've got the vast majority at the bottom who are being manipulated, but also in that middle sector, you've got people who are fundamentally important to the agenda unfolding and playing out into society who don't know the extent of the game they're playing a part in. And they have children and they have grandchildren. I've talked to some in the last little while, and they're now starting to go, hold on a second, what are we actually installing here without realizing it? And if we can get to those people, the pyramid starts to malfunction.
Exactly. Stay there. David, well, let's continue behind the scenes for Infowars.com stream listeners only. We'll be right back for everybody else. Please stay with us. I just don't want to waste any of this time. John, can you find that clip? I'm looking on YouTube.
I'm trying.
I used to play it like 8-9 years ago, and I've heard other shows play it. here on the network, so you might look in some of their files. I forget the shows. I think